Gyda Houston an na sin maha. Sinesh matol ag al sŵl. Wel, a lucht y mewn yn has fo chasg fo fwy prien di hars. Agus yn datak yn fwope y diach ysio. Ach, o'r sy'n ffachgol i'r clychyd ar ŵr nochgwg. Ag Dundee United se ach gyd jedig y deisan. Siog yma o Robbie Nielsen.
Yeah, it's great, and I've trained the last few days. I had a bounce game yesterday, so it's good to get back and have a kind of purpose to the week for training-wise. I had a year left at Leicester and I spoke to the manager, and last season he brought in a lot of players. He brought in 15, 16 players and I wasn't involved. I had a year left. He asked if I wanted to go on loan, but I said, look, I'd rather just get away. So he let me go just before the window shut, and I'd just been waiting for something to come up that I fancied. You know, I was hoping to stay Championship. You know, that's where I was at Leicester, but there was nothing really came up, so I didn't want to start dropping down the leagues. And then I got a phone call from the manager here, and I thought, you know, it's good to get back playing the SPL at a good level. I just asked if I wanted to come up. You know, I didn't really need to sell the club. I know the club. I know, obviously, I played in Scotland for 12, 13 years. You know, I know the club, I know the setup, I know a lot of the coaches here, a lot of the players here. I know the facilities as well here. So, you know, it didn't take long to make my mind up, really. You know, I came up, trained a couple of days, spoke to the manager, and then it get dealt with a few days later. It's difficult, you know, I've got 3 young kids, you know, so we miss them, but, you know, it's important that I get back playing football again and doing well, you know, and my wife understands that. You know, it's difficult for her. We don't really have a, you know, a network or any, you know, support for her down there, but, you know, it's short term. You know, we'll reassess in the summer. My 2 oldest kids are at school, so I can't really be taking them out up here for 6 months and then back down again. You know, it's not fair on them, so, you know, I just need to deal with it.
An dúfas eolais ag Robbie Nielsen agus ein dochas gan bí seo na chúteachad an skipa óga ag Dundee United agus a manager úr ag a chúteach a dhéanú ráv.
I spoke to the manager about it, and that's what he was hoping I would do, you know, so, you know, I just want to come here and do well, play well, hopefully win some games and do well for the club, and if I can help the young boys along the way, then that's great. I know a lot of the boys already, you know, like especially in the back 4. I know Gavin Gunning obviously was at Motherwell, you know, I played against him. I know Gary Kenneth as well, I know Dixon, you know, I know quite a few of the players, you know, I know the midfielders, you know, there's quite a few boys here that were playing when I played in the SPL, so I know the guys, you know, and again, it's a wee bit easier for me to settle in, having known what kind of players they are and how they play.
Chur is seach de bhór chúte bheith an na balcóise ag Hearts, agus a dú chuoine chanéice bhna náma chud é seachad an na Gorgie.
I had a great time there. It was a great club. I loved it. You know, I was there I left school 16 and I stayed there until I was nearly 29. You know, so it was a great time there. And it was a great club, and you know, I always looked for results, and the fans were great with me. I've got a lot of good friends there. You know, not just in the football club side of things, but the fans as well. You know, a lot of good people there. So yeah, it'd be nice to see them again.
A tulle hriblet in na huv ianve sydd fi ag Hearts sydd y diachgainse, a cha Robbie dyn fech gan blue swych am ar sio na clychadillen.
It's part and parcel of football nowadays, you know, it happens. You know, it's happening in England as well with some of the teams, you know, like your Plymouth and teams like that are struggling money-wise, and, you know, it's to be expected, really. It's happening in the business world, so why shouldn't it happen in football? But player-wise, you know, I don't think it will affect them too much. You know, we had the similar kind of problems when I played there as well, but if anything, it probably kind of galvanises the team to come together. You know, there's a bit more unity between the team, and you know, I'm sure that's probably the situation there just now as well.
Arms across the body and bring your knee up.
Ag ús un blynydí ag eríchad, chan jelin na dorsan na gúnagus an ag olar asyn sas an sa skipa nasianta, acha aia idrasta Dundee United.
MD in Scottish football would be the same, I would think. You know, any of the fans, how can you knock back your nation, you know, no matter, you know, where you are or what you're doing, you know, you always want to be available for selection, you know, so yeah, if it came then great, but it's not something I'm thinking about at the moment.
Get out, yeah, good, done.
I just want to come and play well and do well for the team, you know, and if I do that then hopefully we can win games and move up the league. You know, they've had a few injuries. Scott Seven's been out for a while now, you know, and Sean Dillon as well has been out, you know, he's just coming back, so, you know, it's difficult when you lose more experienced players like that, you know, who you can rely on, so, you know, if I can come and help, then great. You know, if I do well for the manager, he said, you know, we'll look to reassess it in the summer. So that's my goal, really, you know, to do well and play well in the games. you know, I try as much as I can for Dundee United, and hopefully, you know, first of all get into the top 6 and then push for the European places. You know, that's where, you know, a team of Dundee United stature should be, and hopefully we can get there.
Robbie Nielsen aan de hennig maar. Ja, soms leehalletje wie aan de kutig werd in een loei. Ik Dundee United. Freddie van der Huren. Freddie, welcome back to Tannadice. What have you made of the game so far today?
Well, the half-time result is okay. Eh? It's 1-0 up for Dundee United. Very good goal, actually. And hopefully the 3 points will staying at Tannadice.
And what brings you back to Tannadice today?
Well, 20 friends of mine for a weekend out. So they said, let's go to Scotland, and then we have an hotel in Edinburgh and driven up the road to watch this game.
You spent 5 years as a Dundee United player here. What are your memories from your time as a player?
Well, good. I spent the time with my family, of course. My girl is brought up here. My little girl is brought up here. Played 5 years under, 4 under Jim McLean and 1 under Golek, and I enjoy it.
You replaced Paul Hegarty in the team when you arrived as a player. Have you been catching up with himself and other people today?
I saw him at half-time, and of course you have always contact because I'm still staying in football. So you follow how the team is doing, and follow the careers of the boys, which is good.
And what is it you're doing in football now? Can you tell us a bit more about what you're up to?
At this moment of time, in '89, Dundee United bought me from FC Den Bosch. And now at this moment of time I'm director of football there.
What kind of work do you do as a director there?
Well, selling and buying players, and the youth academy. And in Holland is a different system than in Britain. I'm the manager, and we have a trainer who's doing the job on the pitch, and I do the wheeling and dealing.
Freddie, thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Freddie van der Hoorn, zo daar kitara mollig boor van de luchtjamp United naar Hannekamach. I guess skipping hearts in Chile in the Vark in the last. I guess fair running game of in Falchavour gets in this Kuyuva point your hearts. But Jim Jeffries, sir, Paulus Erges in back and Karam Corey. Hanaini should be bound Corey Vachke. Ach, Naintoch manager hearts. I guess she manager hearts. He could bring colleagues. Hugh Alec did a blast a Kainik Cleaderins coaches coaching in hearts. Get a Robbie Nielsen get a Jim Jeffries.
Wel, dat ging natuurlijk zijn Paulus Sergius tegen als je nog eens in het